Hey there, and welcome to Hot Seat. And we are here to explore the reasons of why. What's the why? What's the purpose? What drives business owners to do what they do? If it's what you're looking for, to get motivated, well, we look forward to sharing this episode with you. I'm your host, Kelvin Holiday, and I am enjoying the fact that we can explore people's why and motivate others. So stay tuned for this exciting new episode. 15 minutes, fast paced. Let's do it. Well, hi again, folks. Here for another hot seat, and have I got something special for you today. I know all of us have a story, all right? We all have those stories, and some of us don't really value the real heart and soul of a story, but we've got a lady here today that's going to talk to us a little bit about herself, her own journey, but she is an absolute genius at helping you to explain your story, all right, and use that within your business to be able to promote yourself. So we're going to ask her to come in. Janeen, coming into the hot seat, buddy.
Hey, Cal.
How are you?
I am great, thank you.
Awesome. So, mate, story, such an important thing. So why don't we just start with your story? Tell us a little bit about, your background, your history, family, passions, all those sort of fun things. Tell us your story.
Someone asked me that the other day, and I said, go to my Facebook page and you'll see this combination of business. My background in business, I was a GM of sales for a multi-million-dollar business, work with commission-based sales teams. I've taught aerobics. I've had a very interesting career, but most of it has been around helping people move from one space to the other and have success. You'll see that there's a lot of family. So I've got a few grandchildren, and I love spending time with those little upcoming adults. I am a little bit political, and I have a few beliefs and things like that. So you'll notice that as well. I love to travel and for the last few years, particularly after doing many countries around the world, I'm focused on seeing this country and getting around and sitting around a campfire. So for me, that's one of the, the real highlights of, being in the bush, even just walking, going for a daily walk and being outside in the bush. That's sort of what rocks my boat a little bit.
That's rock your boat, mate. And that's right. So it's so important. I know, I've known you long enough now to know that you live life to the fullest, travel, I resonate there, mate. I've been 13 different countries in the last 18, 20 months. Love traveling. But yeah, I haven't done Australia yet. So, mate, so whereabouts in Australia do you hail from? Where's the hometown?
I am in south of Brisbane. So I'm in the city of Logan, which, people in Australia go, oh, that sort of gets a bad rap, but it's a really nice place to live. I'm 30 minutes from the Gold Coast, 30 minutes from the centre of Brisbane, 30 minutes from the mountains to go camping. So I'm in the perfect spot.
Oh, mate, the heartbeat. Yeah. The heartbeat. It's cool. So tell us a little bit. So you've got this beautiful story, a bit of a diverse sort of background, and I know you talk to a lot of people, and you've probably gone through a couple of challenges yourself. We can't go through life and not have a challenge or two. And so when you're talking with other people about their story and about trying to find something different, maybe tell us a little bit, when the going gets tough, what are some of the things that you've learned from yourself, and maybe some of the other stories that can help people, just to get up and keep going?
Really interesting that you brought up this topic. I ran my women's mastermind group this morning, and because it's a particular day, it's focus on bullying and how to have that and be empowered yourself. And that's the topic that we came up with, this sense of empowerment. And for those that do know me, will recognize that I do have a lot of confidence and belief in myself. But it doesn't take a lot for even someone like me when you're confronted with somebody that, makes your life really difficult. As we discussed today, it's somebody that comes into your life for a benefit for yourself, but you can't really see that at the time. And as when I was a GM of sales, they brought in a new operations manager, and she had very different standards of how to treat people and how to treat customers and expectations. And it was a line in the sand moment for me, whereas I put up with this? And it was really confronting and challenging for myself, or do I walk out the door? And I had my business speech perfect running in the background for quite a while. And 2018, I decided I'm going to walk out the door. And that's, I work with a lot of people. That's a very big decision. I was on a significant income. And to be able to go, you know what, I don't need to be in this situation any longer. But I had something to fall back on already. That was creating the next episode. And that's been, since 2018 for me, full time.
Yeah, good. Look, what I was hearing there, and I think I go back to the book Jim Collins, Good to Great. You may know the book, and a lot of people are listening. And he says very clearly, yeah. So, what are you good at? What can you be the best in the world? What are you passionate about? What's that sense of purpose? And then you make a living out of it. What's the economic engine? And that's what I've just heard. You've gone, I know I'm good at what I'm doing. All right. But you're stuck in a place that wasn't valuing it, or the values were a little bit different. So you took that purpose and passion and took it somewhere else and made a new economic engine for yourself. And well done.
Thank you. Yes. And that was exactly what came out this morning, because everyone was in their own business and they'd stepped out of those situations and had created that's something for themselves. And that gives you that purpose, that gives you the passion when you know that, for me, it's helping people with words. It's helping people find and it doesn't have to be the big story either, Kel. When I'm helping people pitch, you've got 60 seconds to tell a story that tells what you do and can be relevant and engaging. And you can pull that from anywhere. You can pull it from any little activity or something that happens to you during the day, and then wind it into how you might help people with their health or their business or their mindset or what it is you do. I love it. I absolutely love doing that.
Look, and look, what I'm looking forward to the most is I'm going to actually invite you back at some stage to do a tool time with us and a masterclass to actually explore that process. So I think maybe you could actually give us just a little bit of insight. A lot of people get stuck in the fact that, if I'm an accountant, I've got to tell a story about accounting, or if I'm in, the beauty industry, I've got to tell a story about the beauty industry, or, but that's not the case, is it?
No, not at all. I was working with somebody this morning. They help people with their SEO and their websites. But I also know that this person does a little bit with a group called the Wallaby Air, which is Vietnam vets. They're the guys that support they're pilots that support the fancy pilots. So they fly the bigger planes. Anyway, I knew she had that connection, and so I pulled her story for her, about the SEO, and it was talking about, there's certain stages in life where you find that you are just a passenger. You're sitting in the back of the plane and you're just going along with what everyone else is doing. Well, you really want to be up front and be the pilot. You want to be the person that navigates exactly where you're going to end up in life. So, and that's where we want to be able to do is talk about it, particularly with her, it was her SEO. So when you're looking at your website, your SEO, rather than just sitting in a back seat waiting for people to come to you, you've got to get proactive. That's what I do, Kel. I can pull any topic from anywhere and make it relevant to somebody's business.
Look, and look, and some of the conversations I've had with yourself and other people, it was exactly the same as my story. Like I live in Thailand now. Like I'm living my story now, whereby I wanted to do a charity bike ride and I wanted my business, I wanted freedom, but to be able to do a charity ride and spend the time to train and all that type of stuff, I needed freedom for my business. So that created my story. Like I'm a person that helps people create time and freedom to do whatever you want to do, and so that became my story. The bike ride was really the core of my story for many. Look, and it is amazing, isn't it? So
and you could turn that bike ride into the struggle part. And make that the story is the struggle of the bike ride and then achieving it. And as you've gone back each year and done it, it's become easier and easier. And that's what happens in life. When you practice things and you put systems in place, things become easier.
That's exactly right.
Turn everything around. Yeah.
So there's a great tip for people, and we're gonna get you a little bit later on, just before we end, to give us a hot tip as well. But But that within itself is a gold one. Don't just look at the obvious, look at the things that are in your background, your experiences. So tell us maybe, let's go a little bit deeper here. Some of the experiences, you've done a lot of travel. So what are some of the stories tell us some of the stories of your travel that, that just stand out in your mind. You go, oh, gee, that is a thing in my life that, you've created since 2018 for yourself.
Wonderful, wonderful question. And I have traveled to many places around the world, and I tend to be fortunate, that, and even my husband now goes, don't worry about it. If we were in Africa looking for the big five, and don't worry about it. Janeen's here. It'll turn up. It's not a problem. So we get to that sort of stage. So things go well when I travel, part of the expectation. But I think one of the stories is I was in Indianapolis, and we went to go to the track, the Indy track, and they said, oh, it's closed today because tomorrow there's a big race. There's only 3 races a year, so we'd hit it on a day beforehand. Anyway, we went down through the security, and the security said, I said, there's 4 of us, we'd like to go and walk down through Gasoline Alley and track. And they said, oh, are you with the tour? And I naturally said yes. And they just let the 4 of us wander all through the area, and got photographed. Another security guard come along and asked us what we were doing, and we ended up that they were taking photos for us, and we're up in the grandstands and we're at the track. And it's having the confidence and the belief that things will go right.
Yeah.
And then they do. But having the confidence, I suppose, is the word. I've got other words, but they're probably not as polite as confidence, that you can actually go and BS your way into something. We got into in Washington, got in to see a jazz thing that had been booked out, and we didn't even pay for it. And there's so many great stories of just being in the right place at the right time with the expectation that it's all going to go well and that you get the things that you want. Yeah,
absolutely. Expectancy, positive thought, confidence. Sometimes, if you don't walk into that, I can imagine that you're sitting in that gate and the person said, "Are you with that toy?" And you would have gone, "Sure."
Absolutely.
There wouldn't have been any hesitation. Sure, I'm with the tour. I'm with a tour with these other 3 people.
Yes, that's it.
I can just imagine it. Mate, that's a bit of gold.
Yeah.
So, look, I think what we're about here at Hot Seat is really your why. Get into your why, and I can hear what you do, and I can see your expression. But what's the why? If we were to peel back your story, peel back that thing, what is you've left the corporate world. What is that thing that keeps you going even when the going is absolutely crap?
It relates back to my mission statement. That's one of the things I help people do, is get clear on that, because that's, as you said, that's what gets you going. And then, when you've got things going wrong, challenges, learning experiences, as we might call them, then you've got to have something that keeps you going. And my mission statement reads, to enable people to do what they don't believe is possible. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I want to help people get to that stage where they can achieve things that they just didn't think that they could possibly achieve. And it might be as simple as putting up a video of themselves on social media, that they could not possibly do that. Or they, I've got one lady that's now, she does funerals and a celebrant, but she's just started these morning teas, and she would never have been able to do that. Just a general public morning tea, invite people along. That's what gets me going every single day, is to see those results from people doing things that they didn't think was possible.
Yeah. And I think that comes out of you. You've got that positive affirmation of yourself, and you go, oh, I'm not going to get this done unless I do it. And you're positive about that. And then when that rubs off on other people and you see that light bulb moment, it is pretty special.
Definitely.
So, Janeen,
and you can manifest. This is a really big, deal. We've talked about things coming along. You can manifest things, but you have to take action.
Yeah.
That's a critical factor. You can
Yeah.
wish all you like, but unless you take action on things, you're just not going to get the results.
Whoa. Janeen, you've given us lots of food for thought here and a lot of gold nuggets. And I would actually say to people, do yourself a favor and rewind this and play this one a couple of times. I've been doing this long enough to know that this is pure gold. All
Thanks,
right, that
Cal.
Janeen is actually coming out with. So we're going to even make it. We're gonna throw you one little final question, mate. What's your hot seat hot tip? If you could pass on some wisdom to somebody today, what would that be?
Whether you are in a sales conversation, you are standing on stage, you're delivering a pitch, whatever you're doing, it's not about you, it's about your audience. So forget about what you do. Nobody cares. It's about what you do for someone else. And make sure that you've got the right story, the right pitch for the right audience. It's all about the audience and how they receive it.
Oh, mate, I'm going to go into this weekend very, very happy to just to reflect upon this one, and I might have to listen to this one back myself a couple of times. Janeen, been an absolute pleasure having you here on a hot seat. I am thrilled to be able to invite you back and at some stage in the future to be able to do another tool time with us and dig deeper into, how do we create those stories? Where do we look? What's the mindset behind that? So I'm really looking forward to that. So thanks for coming along.
You're welcome. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's always fast. Hot seat is always fast. So, folks, this is another episode, a wrap for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Janeen. And until next time, we'll see you again.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us here at Hot Seat. It's been an amazing, amazing event. It is a place where you can actually enjoy and be inspired by the why of others, the drive of the purpose and the passion. Please like and share this podcast with as many people as you can to inspire them to make a difference in this world. Have an awesome day. Unleash.